Welcome to this edition of News Today, a series where we briefly discuss and analyze important news of the day. Without delay, take a look at the headlines first. Land Conflict Watch, a data research project, prepared database of land-related conflicts under Forest Rights Act. The government has decided to maximize electricity from gas-based power plants to meet summer demand. India and Mauritius signed a protocol amending the double taxation avoidance agreement. The central government has ordered an investigation into organ transplants involving foreign nationals. Groundbreaking orbiter enables direct satellite calls from smartphones. Delhi's Lady Hardinge Medical College opens radiation therapy facility. In the very first news for the day, Land Conflict Watch, a data research project, prepared database of land-related conflicts under Forest Rights Act (FRA). In 2006, the Indian government enacted the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act, popularly known as the FRA. The aim of this landmark legislation was to recognize the rights of indigenous communities and traditional forest dwellers who have been residing in forest areas for generations. As per the FRA, the implementation of the various provisions of the Act is the responsibility of the state governments and union territory administrations. According to the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, over 23.43 lakh land titles have been distributed across the states, covering both individual and community rights. The key features of the FRA include the recognition of individual rights, such as the rights of self-cultivation and habitation, as well as community rights, including grazing, fishing, and access to water bodies. The Act also emphasizes the critical role of the Gram Sabha or the village council in identifying the beneficiaries and granting permissions for the diversion of forest land for non-forest purposes. The FRA defines forest land as any land of any description falling within any forest area, including unclassified forests, existing or deemed forest, and protected forests. The rights can be claimed by any member or community that has lived in the forest for at least 3 generations or 75 years before the 13th of December 2005. However, the implementation of the FRA has faced several challenges, including slow progress, limited grievance redressal mechanisms, and a predominant focus on individual rights rather than community-level entitlements. As the custodians of India's rich forest resources, the rights and livelihoods of indigenous communities and traditional forest dwellers are crucial for sustainable forest management and preservation of ecological balance. The effective implementation of the FRA remains a pressing issue that requires continuous efforts and collaboration between government, civil society, and the affected communities.
Ahead in the news, the government has decided to maximize electricity from gas-based power plants to meet summer demand. In a bid to ensure adequate power supply during the upcoming summer months, the government has directed gas-based generating stations to ramp up operations under Section 11 of the Electricity Act of 2003. This provision allows the government to order a generating company to operate and maintain a generating station in exceptional circumstances. The government's move is part of its broader push to promote a gas-based economy and to ensure energy security in the country. Further, if we talk about natural gas, then it is a fossil fuel energy source. The largest component of natural gas is methane. But now the question arises, why do we exactly need a gas-based economy? Let's look out for answers. Firstly, as per International Energy Agency, on average, coal to gas switching reduces emissions by 50% when producing electricity, thus reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Moreover, natural gas plants start quickly and can fill the electricity grid gap when renewables aren't producing enough, further serving as an important backup to renewables. Furthermore, it can help meet international commitments by contributing towards achieving net zero by 2070 and meeting the targets of nationally determined contribution targets. While the need for a gas economy is clear, we cannot afford to overlook the challenges that lie ahead. Let's delve into some of these challenges. India has a small share in the energy mix of just above 6% as accounted for in 2022. Also, there is high import dependence as India imported 48.2% of its natural gas in financial year 22. Moreover, the fertilizer sector has the largest share in the overall consumption of natural gas, which is highly subsidized. To bolster the gas-based economy and to overcome the major challenges, the government has come up with various initiatives. These initiatives include the development of the national gas grid for pipeline infrastructure. Next is city gas distribution networks, which involves compressed natural gas for use as auto fuel and piped natural gas for use in domestic, commercial, and industrial segments. And lastly, there is sustainable alternative towards affordable transportation or satat to extract economic value from biomass waste in the form of compressed biogas and biomanure.
In our next news, India and Mauritius signed a protocol amending the Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. In a move to combat tax evasion and avoidance, recent amendments to international tax agreements have included the Principal Purpose Test or PPT. The PPT lays out a condition that tax benefits under the treaty will not apply if obtaining that benefit was the principal purpose of a transaction or arrangement. This comes as part of the global effort to address base erosion and profit shifting or BEPS. It refers to tax planning strategies that exploit gaps and mismatches in tax rules for tax avoidance by shifting profits from higher tax to lower tax jurisdictions. To tackle BEPS, the Multilateral Convention to Implement Tax Treaty-related measures was introduced, which aims to update international tax rules and lessen opportunity for tax avoidance by multinational enterprises. India signed this convention in 2017. The protocol to amend existing double taxation avoidance agreements aims to bring them in line with the BEPS minimum standards. These are agreements between countries to avoid double taxation on the same asset in both countries. The India-Mauritius DTAA, first signed in 1982 and amended in 2016, is a prominent example. The significance of the agreement includes promotion of cross-border investment by reducing tax burden on foreign investors, equitable allocation of right to tax between the source and residence countries, provides legal certainty on taxing international income. Lastly, here are some issues associated with the agreement. Treaty shopping, which takes place when residents of a country which is not a party to the agreement takes advantage of the provision. Another is double non-taxation, leading to abuse of DTAA to avoid paying taxes in both countries, and the differential interpretations of tax treaties leading to protracted litigations. As the global tax landscape continues to evolve, these measures to strengthen international tax rules and plug loopholes are crucial to ensure fairness and prevent abuse of the system.
Moving ahead in the news, the central government has ordered an investigation into organ transplants involving foreign nationals. The government's move comes in the wake of the data from the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization that reveals a significant increase in organ transplants for foreign nationals through private hospitals. There are reports of commercial dealings in organs being transplanted on foreigners, which is strictly prohibited in India. Organ transplantation is the surgical removal of an organ from one person and transplanting it to another person. The framework for organ transplant in India is governed by the Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994, which is the primary law related to transplants in the country. Further, if we talk about the eligibility for organ donation, then most organ donation is determined by the donor's physical condition, not age. Both living donors must be at least 18 years of age and the deceased can donate organs. However, consent from the family is required for organ donation from the deceased. Despite the legal framework, there are several issues plaguing organ transplantation in India. Issues like high burden, characterized by a demand versus supply gap, have increased illegal organ trade. Also, there has been a lack of organized systems for organ procurement from deceased donors. Moreover, poor awareness and attitude towards organ donation are significant issues in organ transplantation. To address these issues, the latest National Organ Transplantation Guidelines state that persons above 65 years can receive an organ for transplantation from the deceased. Additionally, the requirement of domicile of the state for registration of patients requiring organ transplantation from deceased donors has been removed. Government has established a national-level organization called the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, set up under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Its functions include all India activities of coordination and networking for procurement and distribution of organs and tissues, and registry of organs and tissues donation and transplantation. In our next news, groundbreaking orbiter enables direct satellite calls from smartphones. Chinese researchers have unveiled the Tiantong-1 satellite series, a revolutionary advancement that allows smartphones to make direct calls from space without relying on traditional ground-based infrastructure such as base transceiver station or cellular towers. These satellites, positioned in geosynchronous orbit approximately 36,000 kilometers above the Earth, cover the vast Asia-Pacific region spanning from the Middle East to the Pacific Ocean. Geosynchronous orbit is a special position high above the Earth that allows an object to keep pace with the rotation of our planet. What's truly remarkable is that, as of September 2023, Huawei Technologies has launched the world's first smartphone capable of connecting directly to these Tiantong satellites, ushering in a new era of communication accessibility. But what does this mean for the world? Let's delve into the significance of this satellite communication technology. Firstly, this innovation ensures seamless and ubiquitous access to communication services, particularly in remote, rural, and hard-to-reach areas. Moreover, during natural disasters or emergencies, when terrestrial networks may falter, this technology serves as a critical contingency plan. Furthermore, the applications extend beyond civilian use, with implications for military and defense operations, enabling secure and reliable communication, navigation, surveillance, and intelligence gathering. However, amidst this progress, concerns loom large. Issues such as space debris, regulatory challenges, and cyber threats pose significant hurdles that must be addressed to ensure the responsible and effective implementation of this technology. Meanwhile, here in India, satellite communication technology is also making strides. Under the Telecommunications Act of 2023, satellite communication companies can acquire spectrum without auction for point-to-point communications. The Department of Telecommunications issues global mobile personal communications by satellite licenses, with Bharti Group and Reliance Group among the recipients.
In our next news, Delhi's Lady Hardinge Medical College opens radiation therapy facility. Radiation therapy or radiotherapy is a widely used cancer treatment that involves exposing cancerous cells to ionizing radiations such as X-rays, gamma rays, high-energy electrons or heavy particles to kill them. There are two main types of radiation therapy: external beam radiation or teletherapy, which uses a linear accelerator to deliver the radiation from a distance, and internal radiation or brachytherapy, where the radiation source is placed inside the body. Radiation therapy is a highly effective and well-established treatment for various types of cancer, including brain, breast, head and neck, and cervical cancers. It aims to minimize damage to healthy tissues while delivering high doses of radiation to the cancerous cells. However, traditional radiation therapy does carry potential side effects such as fatigue, nausea, hair loss, and loss of appetite. In recent years, an advanced form of radiation therapy called proton therapy has emerged as a promising alternative. Proton therapy focuses more energy on the cancerous cells themselves, resulting in very low risk of damage to surrounding healthy tissues. Compared to traditional radiation therapy, proton therapy is especially suitable for treating cancers located near sensitive organs like the eyes, brain, and spine. Also, traditional therapy has mostly severe side effects affecting day-to-day activities as compared to the proton therapy, which do not interfere with normal functioning. The main trade-off is that proton therapy is more expensive than traditional radiotherapy. However, as the technology continues to evolve and become more widely available, the cost gap may narrow in the future. As cancer treatment options expand, patients and healthcare providers are weighing the pros and cons of different approaches, including the latest advancement in radiation therapy, to provide the most effective and personalized care.
The place in news for today is Colombia, with its capital, Bogota. It is in the news as recently Bogota has started water rationing due to low levels of water in its reservoirs. If we talk about its political features, it is located in the northwestern part of the South American continent. It is bounded by the Caribbean Sea in the north and Pacific Ocean in the west, and it's surrounded by Panama on the west, Venezuela and Brazil on the east, and Peru and Ecuador on the south. If we talk about its geographical features, Andes Mountains run along the western flank and the Amazon forest in the southeast. Its important peaks are Pico Cristobal Colon and Simon Bolivar, and its major rivers are the Amazon, Magdalena, and Orinoco.
As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Food Safety and Standards Authority has clarified that currently there are no standards for the term health drink in the country. The authority was established under the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. India Post opened a post office at its
Bharti Station
in Antarctica. The inauguration coincided with the 24th Foundation Day of the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, Goa. Earlier, IP had set up post offices at Dakshin Gangotri Station in 1984 and another at Maitri Station in 1990. The government simplified the payment mechanism for pulses import from Myanmar through the utilization of Vostro accounts. A Vostro account is a bank account that other foreign banks hold with our bank in the domestic currency, that is rupees. Rising input costs have made the fast-moving consumer goods segment to adopt shrinkflation. It is a practice of reducing the size of a product while maintaining its current retail price. For example, reducing the number of biscuits or chips in a packet for the same price. Researchers have uncovered a vast reservoir of water dubbed the Ringwoodite Ocean, concealed within the Earth's mantle, over 700 kilometers beneath the surface. Ringwoodite Ocean is a vast reservoir of water trapped within the mineral ringwoodite in the Earth's mantle. Climate experts voiced concerns regarding science-based targets initiatives' decision allowing companies to offset greenhouse gas emissions from their value chain. It is a corporate climate action organization that enables companies and financial institutions worldwide to combat the climate crisis. Indian Army and Indian Air Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to the test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answers to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.